Hi, welcome to Madcp. Thanks for joining. My name is Challa Prabhu and I have decided to create a series of video to help technical writers become familiar with the graphical user interface, that is the basic knowledge required to navigate and workspace using release 2 of Madcp 2024. This session is on quick overview of Madcp. It includes the features and functionality that would help you become more efficient, add value, and increase productivity while working on your product. This presentation is on quick overview of Madcp. Madcp is a powerful authoring tool designed for technical writers, content developers, and documentation specialists. It enables users to create, manage, and publish content efficiently. With features such as single sourcing, topic-based authoring, and multi-channel publishing, Flare provides an all-in-one solution for structured documentation. By the end of this session, you will be familiar with its interface, key features, and workflows. In this session, I am going to discuss about 19 features that help you work more efficiently even if you are a single service provider or you are working in a team on a large project or you have a very strict timelines to deliver the project. So the topic that will be covered is double-click TOC entries, grid view, file list, locate a table of contents, locate explorer, file tag, linking to external website, working in XML and text editor, that is conditional indicators and image thumbnails, snippet condition, using topics like features, folders, conditional expression, and adding web link, using unbind, font sets, font family, creating gender class, color picker, linking style sheets, import styles, report, and table of contents within table of contents. So these are very important because whenever you work in any large project, it is necessary that you first take two things in your consideration. One is always choose a medium where means that is the output for which you are delivering this particular product. Medium is very important. And second thing is see that what style sheets, the templates, the page layouts are associated to that particular project. Without these two, or probably without confirming these two, please do not proceed working with your project. Now we'll go to the Madcp and start explaining each and every item in this list. Now the first thing is double-click TOC entries. What does it actually mean is whenever a Madcp whenever a technical writer who is using Madcp decides to work on a project, the first thing he has to make sure is to check the TOC entries, whether we will be able to open the particular file. There are situations where the technical writer double-clicks on the file and is unable to open the file. For example, if I double click on procedure file, you will see that I am seeing the properties. I am not able to open the file. Second thing, if I come here and click on Challa Prabhu, it opens the property file. Now if this becomes a situation when you work, you have to be very careful that there is one icon which you have to disable, and that is going to be the properties where I am shown. If I click on this properties and then come and click on procedure 1, it will open the file. So for your kind information, make sure that this particular icon is disabled. It may probably be needed when you want to set the properties for this particular topic or file. Okay. The second item in the list is a grid view. What is grid view is when you see when you are in a table of contents, you see view tree. So it gives you a hierarchical structure of all the files in the table of contents. If I click on that, it's going to give me a grid view of all the files that is there in the TOC. So this gives you, if you look at the column, there's a n number of properties that you can just go and see about that particular file. You can also see what's the link from where is that particular file located. You can see any classes associated to it or any conditions is applied to that particular topic and whether it has got any breakpoints. So you can get a clear picture about a single file. And this grid view is from the TOC. Remember that, okay? I'm not talking about the project files, which has got n number of files there. which means like if I have 100 files in a project folder, I may probably use only some 20-30 in my TOC. So this is what is called a grid view. Okay. Now you can also go and rearrange the columns by clicking that particular icon. So here I can just go click on this and move up and move down. Okay, you can do it as per your preference. The third one is file list. What is this file list? That is related to the Content Explorer. Okay, the same view that you see in the view grid is similar to that of the project list. So I come here and click on this. Now here, if you see, you've got a list of all the files. This will give you a list of all the files where you can select more than one file. Okay, so usually it's not possible if you are there in a project folder, but this will help you do this. What is the reason for having this particular two views? One is a grid view, other one is a file list. The file list is the file list is under view menu. Okay, under view menu, if you say file list, you get the list of all the files in the project folder. Okay, this particular the one which you saw in the TOC is the view grid. Okay, when I click on this, it becomes TOC. When I click on this, it becomes a grid view. Whereas similarly, when I come to the project view and click on file list, I'm going to get the list of all the files. Now there are two things. I'll tell you one thing after the fourth or fifth point. What is the purpose of having this? Okay. Now the fourth one is locate to table of contents, locate explorer. Now assume that I've got some 100 files in this particular table of contents, and also I have a quite number of topics in the content explorer. Now very difficult for me to find out where this particular file in the content explorer, or similarly I just want to know whether a file in the content explorer is part of the table of contents. So what I would do is I probably can come here to a procedure, right click and say locate this in. I can just tell them to locate this particular file for me. Locate in the Explorer, it tell me, okay, where is it? It's here. Okay, similarly, if I come here to this particular file and say locate this to the TOC, it's not there. Okay, it's not there here, but it's still other one file there. You can see this getting started there. So in either way, you can just navigate between the table of contents in the Project Explorer. You need not have to worry. First thing, the first 4 points will keep you very clear about how do you really take a control of Madcp Flare environment. Okay. Furthermore, if you come to the project, you can still go on the right hand side. If you see the locate in TOC and locate in Explorer. So need not have to work even if you're working on a backward compatible Madcp Flare application or you are working on the current application. Okay. Now the sixth one is file tag. What is this? I'll give you a small example. Suppose I have a manager, a documentation manager who is looking care of some project. That project has got n number of files, and he wants to delegate a few files to his team members under him, and also want to manage the status of those files. Okay, so that is the situation here. Now in Madcp Flare, there are around 10-15 files which he wants to allocate to a few people, and then later on want to monitor. How will I do that? It's also the same for you. If there are 5 to 10 topics allocated to me, I can go and update the status of it, and later on could tell my manager that the status of the project is. So that's how you can keep in sync. Okay, now I'm going to create a file tag where I'm going to show you how to monitor the status of my particular file and how I can export this file so that my manager can update the status and can then thereafter update the client. Okay, so in order to do this, what I have to do in file tag is I have to create a 2 file tag. Remember that. One is for the author and the other one for the status of the particular file. So I'll come here. There are many things here, but I'll do it for you. I'll just say add file tag. Okay, this is the first one. When I say add file tag, I come here. I'm going to go here for file tag, and the name, it's in the root folder. Type then I'm going to say here file name is something like a auto 1. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, sorry, I should have done this. Okay, so if you see on the left hand side, you'll find this author 1 it is there. Similarly, I'll create one more file called author 2. So this is going to talk about the status of it. On the right hand side, you will see the status file tag type, and now I'm going to put it as status of author, and then I'll say okay. Now you see this particular file has got in progress, ready for review, and ready for translation. You could also add more file tag set for your convenience. Okay, when I come to author, I also have the same thing, author 1, author 2. Now I can go and change this to now any name. Okay, Sophia. Then I can come here and Daniel. Then okay, I can give the comment, and also I can just save it. Okay, I'll just save this file so that I want to add the status of that particular project to each and every topic that I have. I'll come here, Content Explorer. I'll click on, say for example, I've got one file called What's New. I'll right click it. You go to Properties. Okay, now if you see this author, I got Daniel and Sophia. Okay, now I'm going to say Daniel, and status is going to be like in progress. So I have assigned this to Daniel, this particular topic called What's New. Similarly, I'll keep on adding the status for each and every file. And then later on, I'll just export that file in an Excel sheet to my project manager, and the project manager will update it. Now what will happen in case if I come here, I won't be able to select more than one file here, right? But how do I want to do it one time so that I can allocate all the topics, maybe 5-6 topics to Sophia, or 2-3 topics to Daniel? That's why I get this. That's why I come to view and give a file list. Okay, so when I come here, now I'll be in a position to select more than one file. Right click, go to properties, say I want to status author, say this is going to be for Daniel. Then again status is, I'll say that it is in progress. Okay, now done. I'm going to come and save this. Now what is this topic it was given here? Getting started, more information, new topics and all that. Now I have to go to my file list and see the status of this, right? So here is the status here. Here is the status. So if you come to this particular chellaprabhu.htm, on the fourth column, that is status meta 2, it shows in progress. I will come here, then I show that it is in progress again for more information. Then again, if it's a new topic, in his progress. So these are, now I can go and export this file. I can just export this file and then give it to my manager. So this one way, the file tag is very useful. And you should know this particular status can be given only to the file list, not to the TOC content. That particular column details will not be available in grid view, because a grid view is just a table of contents which will be used for generating the output. Whereas if you come to the project, the Content Explorer, it is going to allocate all the topics to the technical writers who are working on the particular project. So that status is necessary for me and not the TOC. That's why if I come to file list and click on this to arrange the column, I'll be able to get this author 1 status 2. Whereas if I come back to the table of contents and view this here, I will not have this file status here. And it's true, it doesn't make any meaning even if I have it, because what is the use of having a file tag when it's just a TOC? Okay, it's for an output file. But most important that is needed is allocation of file to the subordinates so that you can keep track about the status of that particular file. Okay, so this is a little bit lengthy, but it makes meaning. Next one is linking to external website. Link TOC entries to external website. So there are certain times when you feel that you just don't want to provide a link within the content of your topic, but you just want to have a topic in the TOC that will help you to take you to the different website. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll add an additional topic in the table of contents and create a link so that when I generate the file, I can just click on that link and go back to the particular thing. Okay, so what I'll do is I will add a link. So I created a new entry here. I'll just go and say like external link. Okay. Now I'll come and create I'll go to the properties, the general, and in this link I'm going to give www.google.com and say OK. And now I'll generate the output for this. I can generate an output like I have to save this, then come back to the project, go back to the target and say I need to generate. Now you generate the build. Now I'll double click it because the compile status is done. So I'll double click it. We'll just see what is the output of it. See, I come here to link. Okay, I have an external link. When I click on that, it will go to Google. Okay, so what is the purpose of this is I need not have to go and create a topic and then only have to create an external link across means references within a particular topic. I can just have one particular item included in that particular TOC and provide a link to it. So the 8th item in the list is working in XML and text editor, conditional indicators and image thumbnail. So if I open this particular topic, if I come here, this is called as a layout resizer. I can just come here and tell that I want to open this file. I can click on the topic, say open with, and say the internal text editor. So this will open the XML editor. Okay, so the other one which I showed, the other topic is going to be the text editor. So whenever you keep writing this what will happen is you can have this split into two, so that you can have the text editor as well as the XML editor together. Okay, so if you come and say more information, you want to change this to any of the more contacts, you'll see below. If you see the XML editor, you will see that. So you can come here and enter contacts. So you will see that the XML editor below and the text editor both automatically updates the content. Okay. You can also have the text editor on the left and XML editor on the right, so that whenever you come and update this content, you will also see that this particular content is updated automatically. So when you double click anything, you will also see it happening in the okay. Similarly, you also have these images. The images, if you see, they are all thumbnail images, because I have come here and then given it as thumbnail. So if I click on this, they become very big images. So that actually blocks the flow of content. So I have to scroll up and down every time. So what I do, I just for temporarily make it as a thumbnail and then start working on this particular content. So it's more beneficial for you. So you have to make use of this particular markers and all this, so it'll be easy for you. So below the workspace, you have got a conditional editors. Okay, when you click on this, you get these are called a structural bars. The one which is on the left is called a structural bar. It shows you how your what is the hierarchy of your content. Okay, so it says it's a HTML, then it's a body, then it's a H1 tag, and it actually shows you the it shows you how your document has been structured and validated. Similarly, on the left hand side, if you click here, if you just highlight some content and click here, then it will give you the conditional text. So that's why I said working with XML text editor, conditional text and image thumbnail, this will actually give you a conditional text. It contains a set of conditional tag sets. So you can come and tell what you want, what actions need to be performed on that particular content. Probably you want that content to be used only for print only. So you can just say go and include this and exclude the others. Or you could probably say exclude this and then I want it to be included only for the mobile. So conditional text basically works on include and exclude. Okay, so be very clear what to exclude, what not to exclude. This is for conditional text. The next item in this list is the snippet condition. When will use a snippet condition? Okay, so snippet condition. Snippet conditions is, for example, let me tell you, you have two mobile devices, one for Samsung and other for iPhone. So in either of these two, if you see the requirements and specifications is different. Okay, and even the window size or if the mobile screen all are different. So the requirements comes to such a way that they want one single topic and want it rendered to two different outputs for two different devices. So what I do is I'll create a table. On the left hand side I'll have Samsung. On the right hand side I'll have iOS, that is the Apple phone. Now I'll have the requirements of this in that particular document. I'll highlight the content that is for Samsung, and I'll also highlight the content that's for Apple. So in either case what I'll do is I'll just condition those text. Condition those text in the sense I highlight and tell them that this condition is for Samsung, other than for and this. But now what would happen now? I'll only have one topic in the table of contents, and also I'll have a copy of the same topic again. So in first topic I'll say the snippet condition is going to be Samsung, and the other one I'm going to tell the snippet condition is going to be mobile. So what happens is you only have one content but only have a copy of those topics. Okay, so that's one way you'll work for snippet condition and snippet variable. A snippet is also a reusable component. Okay, just like a micro content, it's also a snippet is a reusable component. So if I come and right click on the topic, I'll get this property dialog box. In this property dialog box, if you see, there's something called general. That's called as the name of the file, or you could call it the topic, location where it actually exists, what is the size of it, and created and modified. These are metadata information about that particular file. Second thing is the topic properties. It shows you what is the topic title. So I could probably go and give a title, which will be probably a variable. Okay, why I'm giving variable? Because I need not have to have if I have 4 documents with 4 different titles, I need not have to go manually and change the title. I could create them as I could probably create it as a variable, and the runtime means at the time of printing I could choose a different title. Okay, we'll see that also. Then here conditional text. This is a conditional text in the variables which I've given. The file tags which I specified before, this for the author and the status which I defined earlier. I'll also have other video which covers meta tags and file tags. They are very important because they are part of the property dialog box. Conditional text and a snippet condition. You can just go and say this includes and excludes. Okay, and then when I come to snippet variable, here I said like this particular PDF is going to talk about the user manual, and other PDF is going to talk about the maintenance, and the third is going to talk about installation. So one single variable will have 3 different variable definition. So you have to predefine, you have to be determine well in advance of how many variables do you need, what will be the snippet condition, how many snippets you would really want, how much of content would you like to reuse it, and these are the certain things that you should be very careful. Okay. Important thing, even before starting any project, what you need to do is you have to see whether you have your I said mention that whether you have your style sheet, your page layout, and all these are well set, so that you are very clear that whenever you are working on a project, all these artifacts are in that particular environment. So I'll click on project, come to project properties here. In this project properties, if you see, I've got the defaults, which says that my primary TOC is Madcap Flare Meta. Okay, this is the TOC I'm using now, and my primary page layout is going to be the default. Although I have 3 page layouts. Okay, as I said before, my title page will have a different page layout, or maybe I'll have a portrait page layout. In between, I might have a landscape type of page layout. I might have a different footers and headers for few things. I would always prefer to have a right page as a starting point for every new chapter. So these are certain criteria that I would decide well in advance. And the branding style is, there's a default. If I don't select any template which a Madcap player has provided to me, I will probably create my own branding based on the client's requirements. And then I will associate that branding file to this particular uh, project. So I've also have a video on the branding, so you could probably go and refer to that. Primary style sheet, there are 3, 4 style sheets. So I have styles.css, which is associated to this particular thing. That's why, because I have associated this particular style, if you go to the project folder, primary TOC Madcap Meta. So if you come down, if you come here and then see here, you'll see my HTML file is primary. Okay. Then if you see to TOC Meta will be the primary. So you should not think that why there's some primary in the bracket, because you have come here and you have chosen this as primary, right? You have chosen this particular TOC Madcap Meta as primary. Or you have the style sheet. If you come here, if you come to control, you have got style.css as a primary. So let us check what is style sheet here. I have style sheet and style.css is a primary here. So, and if you have your environment well established or set up, then you will have no problem. And the second most important thing that you have to take care is a medium. This particular thing is very important. May ensure that to what medium you are trying to create your output or deliverable. You can probably start with a web. You can probably start designing for a web and bring it down to mobile, so that your document contains a responsive web design. But do not go from mobile to print to tablet and things like that. Okay. So I also have a video covering layout resizer and media query related to this particular medium. So 2 things keep in mind as a technical writer working on Madcap Flare. One is medium and the second one is the project properties. Okay, and that's very important. So you have to be very clear. Okay, so which topic of very important to you, you have to decide well in advance. So snippet condition is very important. Choose appropriately well in advance what type of variables that you want to have, how many variables you want to define as a variable definition, and associate them at the runtime. And also create what will be your properties, project properties, well in advance, so that you use only that particular style sheet, that particular page layout, and variable and snippet conditions. And also see that what are the file tags and meta tags you are associating it. Okay, now coming to the next one, we are going to talk about using unbind. So what is unbind? Unbind is whenever you are applying something, like for example this is a H1 tag, and then you think that okay, you don't need this. Okay, you think that this is not a appropriate this is not an appropriate way for you think that you don't need this particular style applied on that. But what happens is sometimes you have to go and apply a different style. We don't need to do that. You can just come here and then right click on that particular tag and say unbind. Okay, so this is one way of doing that. And the second one is like in case this is one way where you can unbind anything you want. You can just say paragraph and just say then unbind and it goes away. So you can just take out anything that you want. If you don't want to have a list and you want to have a paragraph, you want to take out the tags that you have earlier you have imposed on that particular content, you can use unbind and take it out. And there's one more where unbind is will be done is when you type when you type probably http google.com. Okay, you say that for more information, you say for more information http www.google.com. Now here what happens is whenever I go here and go and give a okay, now what I have done is I have come to Google. I entered a google.com here. Okay, and then I went to this cross reference. Sorry, I went to the insert a hyperlink. I entered google.com. Now I came back here. So what happens is now this is for a print output. Okay. And similarly, if I just give a conditional format to that and then say for more information contact https www.google.com, this will be printed in the online help. But in case if I print this for a PDF format, then what will happen is for more information contact and this particular content will not be available. So we don't need that. We want to say that okay, if it is going to be for print https at www.google.com. At the same time, when I want to print it, you don't print with a link, but just at least print with the https www.google.com. So in that case, what will happen is I'll type this, come to that tag. I'll just click on this, go to conditions. So in the left hand side below, you got something called unbind. If I click this unbind and then say that it's for print only, or if you say that for screen only or something, then nothing will happen for you. You will get a screen output which says that for more information, contact http google.com, correct? At the same time, when you go on for a print output, it will unbind that particular link and will just only give you https/www.google.com without as a print output. So that content will not be blank. Okay, this is a very important feature that you need to follow. Means like it is not that there are two ways of using unbind. Okay, one is you can just come here and unbind with using the conditions here because there's unbind below. And the other one is if I come here and say unbind directly using this particular content, then I can very well say that okay, I want to take out that particular thing which I applied earlier. Okay, there's very important two ways of applying. So the 12th one is font set, the 13th one is font family. Now you have to know that font set and font family, font set will have a combination of fonts. Why? For example, suppose I'm working in a document here where I'm using Arial, and I've got a couple of fonts in my system and I've used that, but I'm sending it to someone, but he doesn't have those fonts which I've used in my document. So the computer has to substitute those fonts to the whatever fonts that I specify the list as a set. So how do I do that? Like for example, I have to go to the style sheet. Okay, so I come here to a style sheet. Okay, then I come here to the options. Go to the manage font set. So when I come to the manage font set, you see the dialog box says a font set. Okay, on the side it's called font set. Now I can come here and say I need one. So when I say I need, I go and give a name here, saying that okay, it is meta and training. This is the font name I want to give, but that I want to just put all this serif fonts there, hoping that these fonts will be there in the client side. Now when I save this, it is saved. Meta training is saved. Okay, so anyone who comes and use this, so I can just come and say font family. I said it's going to be meta percep, right? So meta training is here. So when I come here and choose it, I get meta training. So this font has got a sans serif, Arial, and all that. So this is a family which has got a font set. Now what? Now how about adding it in the CSS variable? So I'll add a new CSS variable. Okay, I'll come here. Okay, now I'll give you a name here. I'll say that meta training. Okay, I'll say meta font. I'll come here and choose this as the formula. Come here. I'll choose this as meta training. Fine. Now say okay. Now if you come here, you see that the variable is meta percept. So please don't get confused that you can create a font family and you can create a font set. You choose font family, then go inside and create a font set with those fonts which you actually want to, which your document contains, and what should probably be the font that should be substituted at the client side, and you can do this. And you can also have a font variable. You also create a font color. So you can also create a font color also. Okay, so let me go and create a font color so that it's a color. Now here I've got a color. So I can just come and say this is meta color. Okay, now I'll come here and say this is a font color. The moment I said font color, I get this particular text on the value. You need to provide a value. So one thing is either I can go and select this, or I can choose this, choose and get whichever color I want. Say I don't have anything here, right? I only have a recent, saved, named, but I'm actually creating a variable. So here I'll come here. I can also select, use this color picker. That is what is the 15th one. Okay. If I create this clear, I can go to any program and choose that particular color. So the program captures the hex value of that particular color and immediately puts it as a value under the root folder. Okay, that's a HTML element of the root folder. Now when I say okay, okay, it showed that it already had the same value. Okay, now I'll go to the font color. I'll say okay. Now get the font color. Now what will happen is, so if you come here, I'll just enter the font color. I'll come here, insert the CSS variable. This is going to be a font call because I already had that. I said okay, so it has come here. So I'm using variables. So whenever you look at any of the Madcap Player projects, don't get carried away by this term called where. It is either they have entered it as a CSS variable, or they might have a font set or font color or something that way, and they would associate it to a variable. Okay, so these are very important. So when you work on Madcap Flare, and one more thing is always try to get more knowledge using the CSS because it has been there for quite a long time, and it's necessary that you understand this because the Madcap Flare has got a CSS based on the standard W3 consortium. At the same time, it has got a specific Madcap related CSS. So you have to be very clear about it. Now the 14th one is called the creating generic class. Why do you need to create a generic class? For example, let me tell you, I have a paragraph of 2 lines which is black, but I want to make it red. I have one more bullet list where it looks black, but I want to make it red. I want to have a title which is centered, but I want to make it red. So if you want to associate a style sheet to all these three, then I have to have 3 sheets associated to that. Okay. So what will happen is like instead of that, if I could go back to the generic, if I go to the generic class and say that I want to create a add selector, I want to create a class and just say yes, and you come and apply that particular style sheet to title, paragraph and list, your format will be the same and only the color will change. So this is very useful, so always keep track of it. Okay. And one more thing I just want to tell that after discussing with the Madcap documentation manager, I spoke to him that why should we call it as add selector? Why can't we say add class? Because whenever we come to a style sheet and we say that we need to edit some class, okay, so I just come here and say that I want to So whenever you come and right click on that particular class, it is going to show you as a edit class. Although you say you want to add a selector, it is actually adding class. So later on when you add a selector, you right click it, it will give you edit class. So selectors and classes are same. And only that is there are certain complex CSS. For example, there are certain complex judo classes, judo element which we consider as advanced selectors. So that's why it is called as selector. Otherwise, it could be called as a class itself. Next one is a linking style sheet. So you must be thinking that okay, you are working in a particular team. Your project manager says that okay, well, I have a list of projects with me, and I also have one style sheet which will be common across all the projects. Okay, for example, we'll take as a Madcp mimic, Madcp player, Madcp contributor, and many other things. Okay, so they all want to share this one single style sheet. Okay, in that case, what happens is they want to use that particular sheet, and apart from that, they want to create their own local sheet. Because whenever they start using that particular, if they start more adding and modifying some sheets from the parent style sheet, if the parent sheet style is updated, then whatever styles you have created within that style sheet will go away. So what to do now? Now, one thing is before I start any project, similar to what you work in Microsoft Word. Okay, for example, if you are working on a project and you have created style sheet and you are very happy with the document, suddenly you get another project where they say that could you just start working on this new project? So do you need to go and redefine all those headings 1, 2, 3 and all the stuff, or do you want to just have a copy of the style sheet of the previous project that you have worked? It's true, right? You can reuse it. Similarly, in Microsoft Word also you have that particular facility where you can bring style sheet from the previous project and use it for your current project, where all the style sheet that you have defined in the previous project can be used in the current project. So here in the style sheet, I've got something called linked style sheet. So how I'm going to do with this? So here I am here my current style sheet is CSS. How? Because if you go to my project and come here in project properties, so my current style sheet which I'm using is styles. That's fine. But I've opened my style sheet here. The style sheet editor is also styles.css. Now the parent style that I'm using is a challa.css. Now I want to link that particular style sheet. Now I'll click on the style sheet, go to the style sheet link, click on the style sheet link. I get this particular dialog box. Now a style sheet on the left hand side has got two style sheets. One is metapercept.css, seller.css. Which one you want to link to your particular file is up to you. But your project says that metapercept.css is the style that you need to attach to this particular document. So I'll just come here and attach it. Okay, now on the left hand side of the link style sheet, if you see, there's nothing here. Okay, now if I click on this, what would happen? You see something here, right? Now what happened now? This particular style sheet has got linked to metapercept.css. Now clear now. Now you can start using all the style sheet that is associated with the style sheet. But now I have to say, I'll just go and save this file. Now I have linked that particular sheet. But I should go and check in the CSS whether this particular style sheet has been linked or not. Okay. So I have to come to this .css. I'll say open with and say internet text editor, and I have to go to the top of the style sheet and see what is the status of it. Top of the style sheet says that yes, it is import metapercept.css.save. Got it. So your link style sheet is linked to an external style sheet called a metapercept.css. Fine. So my linked style sheet is fine. Now the question is, whenever I link my style sheet to metapercept.css, I don't want all the 200 styles which have been defined by metapercept.css. I want only those style sheets which are relevant to my project or what I need. So the 17th item in the list is the import styles. So I'm coming to import styles. You get this. You might be getting this dialog box. Oh, so this dialog box shows you that all the style sheets, all the styles that are there in that metapercept, and these are the style sheets that depend on the metapercept.in. These are factory style sheets. These are project style sheets. You can just go and select whichever the style sheet you want, and then you can say open and start using those particular styles inside your Madcp, inside this particular link style set. So now the link style set will not have all the list of styles. It will only have those that you actually wanted to import. Okay, good. Now everything is done. Now what happened now is we want to see the reports of the whole project, because I have created so many topics. I have imported so much of images, and also have done so much of renaming of the files. So there are a lot of undefined topics, undefined links. So I just want to create a report and see whether all these are there. So I can just go to the analysis tab and check, give a summary report of it, or I can go and see whether what are the use items currently, use items, variables, concept, bookmarks, or even meta tags, which is say that meta tags is similar to the file tag, because file tag was there for last right from the day when Madcp started, and meta tags are something new. But meta tags also have some other information that you could have, but still supports file tag. Okay, so you can have all these reports, but then the most important thing is you want to create your own report, right? You don't want to do it this way. So you go to the project manager and then reports there, reports there, click on the right and say I need to want to add a new report file. So before proceeding, just go to the file type on the top and see whether it's a report. So then you come create an empty report and give say Prabhu 3 is the name I got, I get it. Now here what it will give you? It will give you like all that you have used in your file. So you can just go. If you want to have tags, you can come here and say that okay, I want to have this the file tags with the author name and the status name, whichever one you want, and then you can generate. It will quickly go and generate all the details from all this that you have chosen from the report editor, and it will generate an output. So it will also might have used items, undefined items, because sometimes so happens that you may have 30-40 images in the files in your project, but you probably must be using only a couple of images. The rest are not being used, so you want to delete it. So you could use this particular undefined glossary terms, undefined variables, undefined conditional tags. You may have defined several tags, but you are only using print and online print. You are not using even PDF also. You are not using iPad. You are not using any other thing. Okay, so that is up to you. This is a very quick demo for you, so that it gives a clear picture. Now the final thing, which is called as, can I have a TOC inside the TOC? So can I have a TOC inside a TOC? For example, if you on the left hand side, if you say I've got a Madcp meta primary, okay, this is one more TOC, and I have a main TOC. This is the main TOC which I'm using, because if you see here, you'll see TOC editor, and here, and now I got Madcp layer meta, which is also here, which is linked here. Okay, so there's one TOC. Yes, I can do this. Now what will happen if I create like this and run a report? Okay, I'll generate a report and see what happens. Okay, remember that I've got meta percept, which is linked from a different TOC, and we'll see what happens. I come to HTML5, build. You have to watch this very carefully, because this might probably take some. This will clear it will make you wonder that such things could possibly occur in case, even if you have it in the TOC. Okay, now it's generating the final output. The output is ready. Now I have to click. Look at the meta percept thing. Okay, so see here, if you see, I've got meta percept, I got features, and then I got artificial intelligence, blockchain, and this. See, I don't need meta percept here for a kind of information. It is just a table of contents. So this shows that I've got one table of contents called meta percept inside, and then a feature inside, and then artificial. So I need to remove this meta percept from this particular online help. So how will I do that? So I have to come back to my file here. So now I'll come to the Madcp player here. I'll right click here, come back to properties. So if you come to the properties, general, they come to advanced at the last one. So here there is a checkbox called when merging, replace node with a merged TOC. Okay, this is a checkbox you need to enter. I'll say okay. And now I'll go and save this, and look at what happens to meta percept now. I'll come back to this primary. Build. Okay. You see it's compiling now. Just wait for 2 minutes. Now the generation is over. I'll double click it Now come here. Now you see this feature. Okay, so I don't have meta percept here. Because of that one single checkbox which I selected, the meta percept mini TOC is not there. Only features like FAQ, like getting started, artificial intelligence, procedure, FAQ, features and artificial intelligence, and then it's come that way. Okay, this is what we actually wanted. We never wanted TOC to be shown inside a TOC. Okay. So we had a very good session on all the list of items, and I hope this will really be very helpful for anyone who works on Madcap Player. Now, second, what is Madcap Player? Like we were using that. Okay, I know everything now. I can work efficiently. What should I do now? It's a powerful single sourcing solution for creating, managing, and delivering content. It supports multi-channel publishing. Whenever some people say target, some people say output, some people say multi-channel publishing. It's all the same. It's nothing but a web, a PDF, a Word, EPUB, and more. Used for technical documentation, knowledge bases, policies, and procedures. So these are where the Madcap Player is used. And then, so what is the key feature? If I take a key feature, then there should be an analogy. Like I should tell you something where you would really grasp what I'm saying. So think of a flare as a professional kitchen. Each tool has a purpose, and when used together, it creates a seamless workflow. So when you go to a kitchen, there are n number of tools available for you. When you utilize them properly together, then what happens? Your Madcap project, a flare application, give you a very good deliverable from the content that you have collected together. So we have a topic-based authoring, like a building blocks. Have single sourcing, like it's a chef preparing multiple dishes from the same ingredient. So you go and tell anyone like I want this, with the same ingredients which are there, the chef is going to give you the output in a very different way. The content reuse, very important. It's a snippet, variables. Okay, multi-channel publishing, I gave you this example. Built-in analytics is like the GPS for documentation, tracking, readers engagement. Like if I have 100 features which are built into Madcap Player, and overall if I see for the last 6 months only technical writers are using only 20% of those functions and features in the Madcap Player, then I should know whether I should probably deprecate it or whether I should add new functionality and features which those technical writers are really wanting to have. So this up to that, it's the analytical details that give you an overall summary of the product. So interface tool we had a startup page. We also had a ribbon and a panels, like a control panel with the switches. XML based editor, because for those who are very good in working with XML and they want to work on the XML editor interface, they could do that. Or if they want to work in an authoring interface, then they could also do that using the structure bars in the left hand side. Creating a project folder file name convention, I said whenever you create a project in a particular folder and have all the associated create a project and all the associated folders and file naming conventions within that particular folder. What do I mean is, if you have a topic folder like for example task, a concept, reference, prefix it with the first letter of that particular topic, C underscore the name of it, okay, T underscore, so that you will know quickly that those topics are talking about what that topic represent, how should that particular task be completed, and then you also have some additional information like references which will help you support your documentation. The naming convention is very important to ensure consistency and clarity. Okay, you can also create a folder for snippets, you can also create for style sheets, also for media, so they are very important. Snippet and snippet condition, I say, like a reusable recipe ingredients in different dishes. Snippet allows a content reuse. I said, like you can have content and you can start reusing. The fundamental concept of any online authoring tools today based on data is reusing. Okay, content reuse in various forms. Snippet conditional controls when and where a snippet appear in different output. So you could also use it in you can also use a snippet, you can also use a micro content, you can also have a many other things, so which could be reused. So coming to the end of it, I think thank you very much for being so patient. For more information, please contact training@metapercept.com, and we'll be happy to get in touch quickly. I hope you like this session. It will really add value to you, and you can quickly deliver by defining our own timelines within yourself, and you can really enjoy this great product. Thank you so much.